Hey guys, Richard here with Alien Bros, and I have a few astounding UFO sightings to share with you guys today, and a new one that was just released and declassified by the Pentagon from the files of the Advanced Aviation Threat Identification Program. This footage was released by the To the Stars Academy of Arts and Science, revealing a previously undisclosed Navy encounter that occurred off the East Coast in 2015, but we'll get more into that in a bit. The first video that I want to share with you guys comes from Izium, Ukraine, and was originally posted by the Hidden Underbelly 2.0 on February 23rd of 2018. It is definitely an interesting piece of footage. I'll go ahead and play it for you guys, and we can examine it together afterwards, alright? Here it is. This is definitely an interesting piece of footage, that's for sure. A big part that stood out to me in this video is the speed at which the orbs fall. I at first thought that this could be flares being held by skydivers, but after examining the footage, it appears that there is no way that that was what was caught in this video. It would have been nice if the footage was taken a bit closer to the objects, but it almost looks like molten metal dropping from what appears to be at least 2 craft, which remain suspended in the air while the others lose altitude and eventually disappear. I don't think that they were landing, since this appears to be taking place above a populated area, but I could be wrong considering that I cannot accurately see where the objects are ending up. They may very well be being deployed to take flight as scout ships or landing near the area. It is also quite possible that this craft is expelling molten metal, much like what was described in the Maury Island UFO incident, which we have discussed in past videos on this channel. If you aren't aware of what that incident is, I suggest going back and checking that video out so you can get yourself up to speed. Also, if you look closely at the objects, you can see both green and orange lights that keep appearing randomly on them. And as they fall, you can see the rest of them slowly moving lower to the ground. This also reminds me of the fact that the government has UFO medals that they retrieved and have stored in Robert Bigelow's lab in Las Vegas. Are these medals the same as those or similar? There are so many questions that I have about this clip. What are they doing? Where did they come from? Are they a threat to us or are they friendly? Whatever they may be, this footage is absolutely incredible. If you have any information on this sighting, feel free to tell us about it down in the comments below, and if you have any footage of this craft, then definitely send it over to us in an email, and we can work on figuring out what this thing is. Alright, I'm not going to keep you guys waiting any longer. This next clip that I'm about to share with you guys is the third installment in the declassified Pentagon UFO footage videos, which was kept in the files of the Advanced Aviation Threat Identification Program, led by Luis Elizondo, who now works as one of the owners of the To the Stars Academy of Arts and Science. The footage was released in a publication by the Washington Post written by Christopher Mellon, who served as a Deputy Assistant Secretary of Defense for Intelligence in the Clinton and George W. Bush administrations. He is a private equity investor and an advisor to the To the Stars Academy of Arts and Science. As I mentioned earlier, this footage was caught by an F-18 Hornet fighter jet off the U.S. East Coast in 2015 using a Raytheon Advanced Targeting Looking Forward Infrared Pod, or an ATFLIR for short. I'll go ahead and play the footage for you guys and we can talk more on it afterwards, alright? Here it is.
Echo 61 Tango Roger, hey, got it! Woohoo! Roger, there's troubleshooting as soon as I get did you box moving target? 02.
No, I took an auto track.
Oh, okay.
Oh my gosh, dude.
Wow, look at it fly!
Now, before I even start talking about this footage, let me just say that I know there will be people calling it a fake and a deception since it was the government that authorized and approved of its release. Please remember, I am only showing you this clip to share data and information with you, along with my theories and interpretations. It is up to you guys to decide whether you believe the footage is legitimate or not, and what you believe the intent is. That makes this a very debatable subject, and I hope you guys will use all of your critical thinking skills as you usually do when determining what you believe the authenticity of the footage is, and what the government's intent for releasing it was. Now, I will say that this footage is certainly clearer than the last 2 videos that Luis Elizondo leaked from the Pentagon, which were later confirmed to be authentic by the Department of Defense. Now, this footage has already been confirmed to be legitimate by officials at the Pentagon, and the quality of it is definitely far better than the first 2 videos from 2004 that were released last December. The object in this clip appears to be different than the ones released in December as well, as this one appears to be more of a saucer shape, while the other clips were reported to be a tic-tac shaped object, although in my opinion they look to have some external features which obstructed the idea of them being a tic-tac or capsule shaped object. Of course, this is just my opinion, and since I did not personally witness the craft, I cannot say for sure that what I am saying is a fact. What I can say, however, is that this object in the new Pentagon footage from 2015 was reported again to perform maneuvers and travel at speeds far greater than anything that our aircraft could do at the time. They did not say that this craft was for sure extraterrestrial, but they did make a good point in saying that it seems highly unlikely that any other nation on Earth would somehow stumble upon technology that put them leaps and bounds ahead of the United States, especially with a budget far smaller than that of the United States. In the Washington Post article that Christopher Mellon published published with this UFO footage, he states that, and I quote, "I served as a Deputy Assistant Secretary of Defense for Intelligence for the Clinton and George W. Bush administrations and as a staff director for the Senate Intelligence Committee, and I know from numerous discussions with Pentagon officials over the past 2 years that military departments and agencies treat such incidents as isolated events rather than as part of a pattern requiring serious attention and investigation. A colleague of mine at To the Stars Academy, Luis Elizondo, used to run a Pentagon intelligence program that examined evidence of anomalous aircraft, but he resigned last fall to protest government inattention to the growing body of empirical data. So unfortunately, we have no idea what these unknown crafts are because we aren't seeking any answers. Meanwhile, reports from different services and agencies remain largely ignored and unevaluated inside their respective bureaucratic stovepipes. There is no Pentagon process for synthesizing all the observations that the military is making. The current approach is equivalent to having the Army conduct a submarine search without the Navy. It is also reminiscent of the counterterrorism efforts of the CIA and the FBI before September 11, 2001, when each had information on the hijackers that they kept to themselves. In this instance, the truth may ultimately prove benign, but why leave it to chance? So guys, I have to say, if they know that these craft exist and may be a threat, then why are they not seeking answers? This could be because the highest levels of government, those that manage black projects, are already well aware of what these crafts are and have known for a long time now. Is it possible that a part of the government above the Pentagon is keeping the fact that they already know the owners of these crafts a secret from levels of government that they feel could let the info slip out into the wrong hands and are therefore not deemed fit to have access to this information, while at the same time leading the Pentagon on by having them look into and archive these crafts with small-scale identification programs so that they will believe that those on top did not have any real information on what these objects are, thus removing suspicion and eliminating the risk of information leaking out to the public? It is clear that the Pentagon obviously cannot be trusted with this sort of footage, considering the fact that these small-scale programs like the Advanced Aviation Threat Identification Program are seeing evidence leak out to the public, therefore proving that the so-called top levels of the Pentagon could not be trusted to handle such information. Of course, that is if we assume that this footage is real, and that those in the Department of Defense and the To the Stars Academy are actually being honest with us. After all, this very well could be an attempt at disinformation, and the footage very well could be a fake meant to lead on the American people and make them think the government knows less than it actually does about these crafts. No matter what the case may be, there is obviously a lot more to this than we're being told, and if this footage is legitimate as the government has claimed, then this is simply more proof that we likely are not alone in the universe and we are indeed being visited by extraterrestrials. Remember to let us know your thoughts and theories on this down in the comments. This is certainly some big news, and hopefully we will get some more information on the AATIP, this UFO footage, and the true extent of the government's involvement in researching this phenomenon. Personally, I believe they know far more than they are telling us, and I think that they have made contact with these alien beings and have been trying to understand their technology for years and have implemented much of it within top secret programs that the government wants to keep under lock and key and use it for their own personal gain and agenda. We need to fight for answers, and true disclosure on this topic needs to come, and we need to do it now. I always say that there is strength in numbers, and if there are enough of us knocking on their door demanding answers, we may actually receive the information that we are looking for. Alright, now moving on, I have another UFO sighting to share with you guys. This one was reported to MUFON, and it is truly some awesome UFO footage. As always, the case number will be down in the video description. The footage was captured over Las Cruces, New Mexico on February 6th of 2018. I'll go ahead and play you guys the footage, and we can read the witness's statement and talk more on it afterwards, alright? Here it is.
It seems like it's moving faster now.
Check this out. In the camera,
Are you getting good?
I'm zoomed way in on the camera. Look what it's doing.
Oh, wow! You can, yeah.
It's got a V tail to it.
Yep. What the heck? It's getting...
Now it's starting to get a point to it.
It's shooting a V to it now, Monica.
That's breaking the sound barrier.
Oh my gosh.
Something's breaking the sound barrier.
It's gonna go warp speed here in a second.
What the hell is that?
Oh my gosh. That is the coolest.
What the?
Wow, it's gone.
It's still in front, but it just lost the cloud.
Yeah.
It did.
Wow.
can't see it on the camera now.
It's heading straight out to the left.
Yeah,
of that
but
one.
it lost its cloud.
Yeah. Wow, that was really cool. And now
It's not picking anything up on the camera now. It's too dim.
oh my gosh.
Yeah, so as you guys can see, this is some great footage. I'll go ahead and read you guys the witness's statement. The statement reads, "I had gone to my truck to get my backpack and felt a pull to look up into the sky. I first noticed a shooting star, and within approximately 20 seconds, I looked to the southwest and saw a bright but fuzzy light off in the distance. It was very slow moving in relation to all of the normal aviation traffic and was flying at an approximate elevation of 1,500 feet. I ran inside the house to get the attention of my father, sister, and sister's fiance. When we came outside, the object did not move far from where I first observed it. As we watched it, we could tell it was starting to change direction, and it began to start to head east. The entire sky was clear with no clouds in sight. Airplanes at various elevations were seen clearly flying in multiple directions with no cloud cover. One aircraft flew behind it, and we lost sight of the airplane due to the cloud and mission or haze that was surrounding the object. And then the airplane became visible again as it came out from the other side, but the airplane was much further away in the distance. The object seemed to be emitting its own vertical bow tie shaped whitish glowing cloud that grew in size as it approached us. As it turned to the east, the bow tie turned into a twin tail that continued to grow and widen. The brightest portion of the object seemed to be the point of the cloud, as though it were a jet breaking the sound barrier, but moved too slowly with no sound at all. The object seemed as though it was moving very slowly, yet the cone-shaped cloud it was emitting was getting larger and larger to what I guess is about a diameter of 500 feet almost instantaneously. The cloud grew from a twin tail to a full-blown cone-shaped cloud in a matter of 10 to 15 seconds. The object then seemed to turn more towards the east and southeast and began to detach from the cloud, and then began to dim in brightness until it was completely out of sight and the cloud dissipated entirely, and it disappeared within about 1 to 1.5 minutes. That is the end of the witness's statement. So, as you guys can tell, whatever they caught in this footage, it is not normal. It almost appears to me like it could maybe be some sort of rocket being launched, however I doubt it, since it looks nothing like any of the past rocket launches that I have seen, with the most recent example being the SpaceX rocket, which was seen over California and mistaken as a UFO by thousands of people. As you could see, it looks very different than what was captured in this footage, and if there were a rocket launched in this area, then we likely would have heard about it on the news. Whatever this thing is, it is clearly no plane, drone, flare, helicopter, or anything else that I can think of to try and explain this object away. It's definitely a great capture. I won't say that this is something alien because it very well could be something terrestrial, but it definitely is something strange, and at the moment, it is for sure an unidentified flying object. Let us know what you guys think down in the comments. Can you explain away this sighting or give us more information on it? If you happen to have seen the same thing or caught footage of it, then definitely send it over to us in an email and we could work on figuring out what this thing is. At the moment, I'm stumped trying to figure it out. Whatever it is though, it's definitely not something that you see every day. Alright, now moving on, I have one last piece of UFO footage to share with you guys. This is another clip that was first posted by the Hidden Underbelly 2.0, and it is phenomenal. If it's real, then it is definitely some incredible evidence. It was captured with the dash cam in Peru on March 5th of 2018. If it is real, it is an amazing capture. I'll go ahead and play the footage for you guys now, and we'll talk more on it afterwards, alright? Here it is. So this footage was originally uploaded to Facebook by someone that was driving down a highway in Peru. The witness stated that as he was driving along the road in Peru, he suddenly became aware of the presence of an immense spaceship in the sky. To his astonishment, and aware that his dash cam was plugged in and operating, he decided to chase the object. The images depict the UFO moving from one side of the road to another. If this footage is legit, then it is definitely incredible. I am not saying whether it is or isn't. With videos like this, there is always the possibility of CGI being involved, but as far as I can tell, it doesn't seem to be CGI since it is hard to pin down a precise tracking point, and the resolution is the same throughout the entire clip, leading me to believe that this is quite possibly a legitimate clip. It appears to show a rather clear craft that appears to be a flying saucer. I don't think I have to say much in terms of whether or not this is something mundane, since the object is clearly visible and blatantly obvious about what it is. The real question here is this footage real or fake? I am leaning towards it possibly being real, but I can't say for sure. If it is fake, then whoever created it did an incredible job with it. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments, and if you have more footage and information on this sighting, then definitely send it over to us in an email. Anyway, that's all I have for you guys today, but stay tuned because there is a lot more coming and we will have it posted very soon. If you liked the video, then please don't forget to smash that like button on your way out, share it, comment, and most importantly, hit that subscribe button and tap that notification bell. It really helps us out and it'll let you guys stay up to date by sending you a message straight to your inbox every time we upload a video, and you can stay on the up and up with all the latest alternative news. Also, if you want updates on when our videos will be coming out, then please go follow our Facebook page. The link is down in the video description. If you have some UFO footage or evidence that you would like us to feature on the channel, then please email it over to us. Our email is down in the description as well, and we will get back to you as soon as possible. Thanks for your support, guys. It means a lot to us, and don't forget to browse the channel if you're new and get yourself up to speed. As always, I'm Richard with Alien Bros, and I'll see you guys again next video.